Hey man, how are you? Well,
Hey, how are,
everybody, hmm,
how are you?
I'm okay. Everybody knows you as Big Shotty or your government name, LeeAndrewJohnsonIII, but I call you man because you're my child. So I appreciate you interviewing with me today. I wanted to share you with the world on my new YouTube platform. If you don't mind, and for people that normally watch man, he's naturally quiet, like his mom, I guess.
Right.
Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Um, I'm 24. I'm a professional wrestler. Um, I live in Georgia. I mean, there's not much outside of wrestling that goes on. Um, yeah, that's about it. I don't know.
I think that is important. So, what I share about people is how everybody got to where they are. One thing about you that most of the world probably they don't know is that you were chronically ill. And I normally say until you were in junior high school, but it was really until you went to high school. Your freshman year, you seemed to start getting much better. Um, how was it being young and having a hard time breathing?
Um, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really remember much from the earlier years. I know the times that I had to go to the hospital, but the actual feeling, I don't know, like what it felt like. Not now, not like 15 years later. So I'm sure it was more difficult on you than it was on me.
Yeah, but you were, aside from not being well, you were a really good child. So
I tried.
I appreciate that. I think that it's important for people to know that may have some kind of a illness or a handicap that they can be successful in whatever they want to do. I remember, so when you were, I think when your freshman year when you transferred, you didn't want to go to the private school anymore. You wanted to be able to do activities that would strengthen um, you, and it also helped your lungs. So when you started going to Lifetime Fitness, what was that like? Do you remember? I know it was a long time ago.
uh, embarrassing because I wasn't in shape. So it's really embarrassing when you're not and you're going to the gym and there's a lot of people that are and you just feel very out of place or you feel as if everybody's looking at you and kind of laughing or making fun of you. Then also I would go to like friends from high school and they were in way better shape than me. So it was pretty embarrassing. And it's a comfort zone thing to work out with them and do things that I probably uh, couldn't do as well as they were doing. Yeah, kind of embarrassing at the time.
But we didn't see you as out of shape because you were our baby. So, and you were handsome. So it really didn't, we saw past anything else. For young people that may feel like I'm out of shape and they want to get to your point. So for those that don't know, man works out just about every single day. He is very dedicated. He has a meal prep that he does. Can you tell people about, okay, so how did you get into shape, and then what do you do to maintain?
So I think it's one of those things that you kind of have to make yourself do. Uh, for me, I don't like going to the gym, really, honestly. It's not fun to me, but I know that I want to look nice. So I think if you want to look nice, then you have to understand that there's sacrifices that you have to make. So there's times where I want to eat pizza, but I have to know I can't eat the pizza because it's not going to help me look the way that I would like to look. That doesn't mean that I don't eat the pizza, because I do. I just pick and choose when I can and how much of it I can have. So I think that if you want to get in shape, then it's something that you just have to remember you want. And what I like to do is I like to take pictures of myself, kind of like maybe once a month or once every 2 months. And it kind of shows me like what I never want to maybe look like again, or what I want to look like. So if I know like 2, 3 months ago I wasn't in the best shape that I could be in, I would look back at a picture from those months and I would say, I don't want to look like that, don't eat the pizza, or anything like that. I just think that you kind of have to know where you want to go, and from there you just keep moving forward, and it gets easier.
Mhm.
um, well, it gets easier and it gets harder. uh, I think the more that you work out, the more you kind of realize like you don't need to work out every single day, because then you're killing your body. And so I think there's a balance as well, as like with having a set, like I can do this or I can do this, but understanding that neither one is exactly bad. If you go to the gym, okay, good. If you don't, okay, that's fine too. I think a lot of people are very hard on themselves about certain things. And one thing that I always try to tell myself as well is that I'm not a bodybuilder and I'm not competing. So my job isn't to look better than everybody else, but instead to look the best possible way that I can. So I think also you have to understand that it's not about um, like good or bad. I think people just, I know for myself personally, I'll get into habits of like unhealthy food relationships where I see this food is bad or this food is bad or this is bad. It's nothing is, so just find the happy medium of this is okay. And this, time, this is okay in this time. And that's just the way I look at it.
That's really good. One thing, just to remind yourself, so your weight had nothing to do with the way you ate. It was the medication. So prednisone, things like that, it blows you up. So that's why, like once you got older, it was so much easier to start looking like, your normal healthy self.
Mhm.
So what is it like on the flip side to be a professional wrestler?
Um, it's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of emotions in it, and there's a lot of things that um, it's a it's more of a mental thing than it is physical, because once you actually wrestle, um, that can become easy. But it's also a time thing. I'm wrestling uh, with a lot of people that have potentially been doing it for way longer than me, and as well a lot of people that are older than me. So there's where I can be very upset about certain things, or there's times where I can be very happy about certain things, just depending on how I'm feeling. So I think overall, I'm having a lot of fun. But it's definitely, you have to keep your mind in check from time to time to just remind yourself that, you're here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see you. So of course, because I was always worried about your lungs or somebody hurting you. Um, I didn't I didn't really want you to do it. I wanted you to manage, like manage a wrestler. Don't let anybody touch you. But when I see you do it, then I'm excited for you. I'm glad that you're living out your dreams. I'm so proud of you. And then I remember you being young and you seeing these people on TV, and I put you in front of the TV because I wanted you to be able to have those strengths and protect yourself, honestly. So, like for me, it's like, okay, I have that good and bad where, you you did this to him. But at the same time, I love that you have something that's just for you. And then when you're out there with the people that you watch on TV, that was so cool to me because you loved Sting as a child. How was that when you saw Sting? and you were actually in the ring with him. I was like, this is crazy.
So when I first saw Sting, uh, I didn't really know what to say because there's a thing where like when you meet certain people, and you want to say hi to them, but you're kind of super nervous to say hi to them for no particular reason. You don't know, like there's no reason to be nervous because it's not like they're not going to say hi back. But when I first saw him, he just walked by me, and I thought it was super cool. And then finally, I probably didn't say hi to him for like 2 months of him working there, and then I finally just said hi to him. I thought it was really cool to, see him, talk to him, because yeah, being a kid, I had like a lot of toy stuff of his, so
Mhm.
it's a cool thing to do.
Did you eventually tell him, like, I had
No,
all
no. Actually, last time 3 weeks ago, we actually sat at the table and ate lunch with him. It was
Oh, cool.
Julia and him, and we were just sitting there eating, and he was trying to because the way that we got there was we put our food like at the table and sat down, and then he came and like sat down after us. So then he was trying to like make conversation, and I wanted to make conversation as well, but it was kind of like I didn't really know what to say. But yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have to practice on that because I'm really good with networking. I love talking to people. And I was actually, when I was getting ready, I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, this is actually crazy. Like, I love networking. And even when I was 11 years old, well, before 11 years old, I would meet people at the mall. And that's how I would gather all my friends. So we'll have to teach you how to network so that you can hang out with Sting a little bit more. And it's probably difficult because he is closer to my dad's age.
Yeah, he's like 60, like 2 or 63 or something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, but it's, I'm sure there are a lot of things that you can learn from him as far as like financial, how to, um, you know, do different things when it comes to money, funding,
Yeah,
real estate
sure,
stuff.
there's things that um he could teach me. Uh,
Hmm.
it's actually funny. They actually before he started working there was a lot of people that used to call me Young Sting because they said that I reminded them of him like wrestling wise, that I wrestled like him. So there's a few people like Cody and a few other of our coworkers that used to say I was a Young Sting.
So the next time he sits down at the table, or even if he's sitting down at the table, go sit down next to him and then just start talking and say, they used to call me Young Sting. And
Oh,
that's how you
and don't.
can't. And that's the funny thing because people see you out there and they see you on TV and they don't realize you're really shy. And it's
What?
like that.
Yeah.
But it's okay to start conversations. You never know. You and Sting, you might have a lot in common, and there might be things that he even may be able to learn from you too.
Yeah,
Like,
we do. He told me that he said Lee is his middle name all the way up to his grandfather. So his grandfather, his father, him, and his son, all their middle names are Lee.
oh, that's crazy. And did you tell him that your father's name is Lee too?
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. And then you guys got it from Leo. Is that?
I,
I didn't bring him into that.
that was fun.
So how is it working with Cody? Cody seems to be a cool guy, really cool.
Really nice working with him. Really, really cool. I think at first when I first met him, um, I was always super nervous to talk to him. Uh, so I never really like got comfortable with him or anything. And he would like try his best to get me comfortable and to like make me. So then over time, we did get like when I joined his group and they put me in his group, then we obviously started talking a lot more, and I would see him, way more. And, I got to wrestle with him on a few different occasions, which was really nice as well. And even now, like we text, every now and then, and we just check on each other, see how one another's doing. So yeah, he's a great guy to learn from. I think he is, probably, like, since I've been wrestling, he's probably the biggest influence on me, uh, as far as like what I think a person should want to be like, or even like try to surpass. Like that should be, in my opinion, where someone should set their goal, because he presents himself uh, like a star. And that doesn't mean that, he's mean or anything, but I mean, he walks and he talks, he acts. And even when he's on screen, everybody can see it. He just presents himself in a very good fashion. So I think that's what, for me personally, that's something that I liked about him a lot.
Yeah. His so for anyone that doesn't know who Cody is, he's from the Rhodes family, Cody Rhodes. When I was younger, I watched wrestling. I don't know if my father tells people, but we watched wrestling because he watched wrestling. And so Hulk Hogan was like my favorite guy in the world. And then Andre the Giant was really cool, Junkyard Dog. But the Rhodes boys were like legends in the game also. There was some, I can't remember, was that really his name? Or did they just call him that, Mr. Miyagi?
Uh, I don't know if that was his real name or not. I know who you're talking about though, but I don't know if it's or not. I don't think it was Miyagi. I think it was Fuji, Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji.
I'm a karate.
Okay. Mixed up.
But yeah, it was Mr. Fuji. Yeah.
Wait a minute. How do you know Mr. Fuji? Because Mr. Fuji was an older person when I was a kid.
Watching old stuff, like just seeing him on old stuff.
Yeah, you just called me real ancient. You said what? He was an adorable little man though. He was so adorable. But yeah, that's really cool that it's funny. It's actually funny that, years ago we watched the Rhodes Boys and now you literally are friends with the Rhodes Boys. Well, the kid of the Rhodes Boys. Because they were brothers, right? His father.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? Like tell people where you're on TV and all that stuff.
Dynamite is on TV at 8 p.m. on TBS Wednesday nights. Rampage, which is our secondary show, is on TV on Friday, actually tonight, on Friday at 10 p.m. on TNT. And then we do our YouTube shows called AEW Dark and AEW Elevation. Those are on TV on Monday and Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., I think. So, yeah, we have a lot of shows across the board that, it can be on anyone at any given moment, any week.
That's pretty cool. So do you still feature sometimes on, is it Road to Success?
No, that was just his show. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to be going on with that show.
Okay. Well, keep us posted so that everybody knows where to find you. And then do you want to tell us a little bit about your traveling life, because you travel a lot?
Yeah, so I think we actually have it pretty easy compared to like how it used to be. We travel Tuesdays and we get home Thursday mornings. So honestly, it's not that bad when you think about it. We're really only gone for one full day, and then we're home pretty much every other day of the week. We might have like pay-per-view loops where we're gone for a week and a half maybe. And then also we do sometimes do Orlando taping. So then we'll leave Friday and then be gone until Sunday. So there's times where it can get pretty hectic, but I think for the most part, it's pretty easy. Just one full day, and then Tuesday we normally leave at nighttime so that we get to spend all day at home, and then head out Thursday morning and come back home.
And you've been doing it for a couple of years now. So has it gotten easier for you?
So I've been with AEW for about a year and a half. I think that it's gotten, I don't, yeah, it's kind of gotten easier, but not exactly. Before, during the pandemic, we actually used to work every other week. So we would only travel uh, once every other week, which was super easy. You get a whole week off at home and then go to work the following week. Um, so I think it kind of just cancels out, honestly. It really cancels out because that was nice, but then also traveling once a week, Tuesday to Thursday isn't bad either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for a young person, that's probably really good for you to a good way for you to get to see other states
Mm-hmm.
by traveling, because you guys do get to kind of do some things on your own, don't you? Sometimes.
Yeah, there's times where we can. Sometimes that doesn't really happen. Like a lot of people think that because wrestlers travel, that means that they travel the world. Not exactly. It's more so just airport, hotel, venue, hotel, airport, home. Especially because we do leave Tuesday nights, and so we get there late, so we just go straight to the airport. Before we used to leave early Tuesdays, so there was times where we could like go explore places. I think Pittsburgh was one of the places that we got to explore because we were there for a few days, and then there's other places where we could be there for a few days where we'd explore. It does also let us go to places that I've never been before, which is a lot of places that they, have had us go to that I've never been. There's also, we're going to be doing a pay-per-view in May in Las Vegas. So then we get to explore that area. So yeah, there are times where we can explore depending on the time period, but there's also times where it's just straight there, straight back, and not much going on in between.
Too bad you guys aren't going in September, because there's this whole CQ thing going on out there. D-Nice is doing a whole thing.
Oh, I tried to tell me about them.
Yeah, I try to send you the link sometimes so that you can go in there, but
I can't listen to him.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you train to prepare for one of your battles?
So I watch a lot of wrestling, and I think that's the most helpful tool that I have. Before I go into a match, I have to watch a match because I have to get an understanding of everything and the way things are done and why they're done certain ways. So for me, my way of training is by visually watching someone else do something, and then that going into whatever match it is that I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I watch and then it just comes natural. If I practice it, it's not going to come out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
You're my child. That's it. Is there anything that you think people need to know that want to go into wrestling that may not know how to? Because, well, you didn't share that you did go to school.
Yeah, I went to school for like 2 weeks. I went to college for 2 weeks and I dropped out immediately. I don't even think I dropped in, honestly. I really don't even think I enrolled. I think I just went to a class. I went to 2 classes, I remember, and I never showed back. It might not have even been 2 weeks. It might have been one day of college for me, and I never showed back up. And we like tried to enroll me very like all summer. Like you were there at the Gwinnett Tech place with me trying to enroll me, and I just knew I didn't want to go to school. So yeah, I went to class maybe one time, and after that, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't. I just couldn't. That doesn't mean college is bad. There's some people that need, college to get to where they want to go for their field. But I just knew for me that school at that moment wasn't what I wanted. That doesn't mean that I would never go back to school eventually if it's something that I want to pursue. It's just in that moment, I knew I had other things that I had to take care of, and I knew I wanted to be a wrestler. And I think you should just always go with your first mind. I think where we live today, we learn that we should always think twice, but I don't think that you need to think twice. I think that the first thought that you have is the one that's probably right. So just go with that one. And then everything else is just going to happen the way it's supposed to. There's nothing in this world that you can change but yourself. So only focus on that. Don't worry about trying to change the things around you, or don't worry about other people. Whether it's good being said about you, just take it and focus on what you have going on and where you know that you want to be. I think that's the most important thing, is just believing in yourself, because that's all it takes in order for you to get somewhere. And I think if you ever want to get into wrestling, then just I think it's a business where you can't give up, because I think something that keeps me okay all the time is believing in myself. And I'm very self-assured, and I know like how far I'm going to go in wrestling. That's never been a doubt to me that I would be the biggest star to ever be in wrestling, because I will be. And I think that everybody else should feel the same way. And I've watched multiple people take 10 years, 20 years to get to where they finally got. And it would just suck to be the guy that you're 5 years in and you give up right before year six, where in year six could be the year that, everything changes for you. So I just think, not even just in wrestling, in anything, just always believe in yourself, because that's going to go further than anybody else believing in you. It's also going to go further than just anything. Self-assurance is a big deal. Confidence. I think in wrestling, people see that as well. I think the fans, I think that's one of the things that they see, and they can tell when someone's confident or not. And I think confidence matters to them, because if you go out there and you're not, um, I don't want to say you exactly control them, but you can dictate the way that they feel based on what you want them to feel. And there's a reason why when Sting beats his chest, everybody gets up, and it's because he's making them get up by beating his chest. So I just think confidence is a very big deal. Rather, even, I mean, sometimes people only have it when they're out, and then they go back to the back and it's gone, So no matter what, just always have it wherever you want to go.
I love that, the power of influence. And even when you started out wrestling, when you were at the WW4,
Mm-hmm.
so even when you were out there, it was absolutely crazy to see that you had all of these skills, because I hadn't seen them before. So to see, but everything just came natural. And it's like when you go out there, you turn into a completely different person. Just like you said, like normally you're quiet, but then you go out there and it's like you are Big Shotty and you put Lee Johnson to the side.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is really cool that you do have that confidence, and then you let your fans know that you're there for them. So you put on that show for them and let them see that, okay, this is why you came. I'm giving you what you want. I love that. And I did see that when I went to go check you out. So I'm proud of you for how far you've come, the fact that you take care of your health. I want you to make sure that you continue to encourage those that may have those difficulties. Let them know that hopefully, in time, they'll be able to get to where you are.
I will.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. I know you're like, okay, that's enough, lady.
No, I'm proud of you too, and I'm happy that you're doing something that you like.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so I'm really happy to see you do this, and it would mean nothing more to me than to be a part of it as well. So yeah.
Thank you. Well, you're definitely a part of it. And then I'm going to have you back so that you can share more things that you've done throughout 2022. Um, I want you to talk about the different things that you guys do when you do the pay-per-views and how huge that is, because I know the last time you all did it, it was really major. So
Yeah.
it was crazy trying to get into it, because I don't know if it was that so many people were watching at the same time, but it was
Hmm.
hectic trying to get into it. We paid for it and still watched it on Brianna. No, it was Jerica's Jerica's TV through the phone. It was crazy.
That's funny.
So that's majorly cool. I'm proud of you. I love you.
I love you too.
Well, we'll have you back and talk to you soon.
All right.